Hello? Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. We can hear you just fine, man.
Fantastic.
Exterior knowledge.
So, you know, back. So we're back with exterior knowledge, and I like to introduce you to 434 AM. And for people who do not know who you are, do you want to introduce who you are?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. And I think the easiest way to describe me would be a video producer who's trying to connect this dimension and the, I don't know, spirit world, the outer dimension. And I'm doing this through metaphysical discovery, both with use of psychedelics and widely acceptable internet conspiracy theories, I guess.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, man. Because you see, like what made you started doing this in the first place? Like what directed you?
It was very easy. It was a very easy path because in 2015 I was looking for a cure for depression, and I stumbled upon a Joe Rogan podcast from a few years ago with Amber Lyon. She used to be a CNN host, and they talked about I think they talked about magic mushrooms, ayahuasca, and weed, basically psychedelic properties of everything we have available now. And she was talking about her transformation after doing ayahuasca, and then they moved on to talk about mushrooms. And I thought, okay, let me try ayahuasca first. So I got some ingredients of eBay, and I boiled my own ayahuasca, but it was very weak. Luckily, it didn't work. I drank a lot, so I think I could have ended up in real trouble. But it was very mild. I just had some contact with that World War I soldiers. That was very bizarre. I didn't understand it. But I think the next week I got access to mushrooms, and I thought I'll give mushrooms a try. And the moment I tried mushrooms, I discovered that not only is my depression gone, but also I'm now in contact with some spirits, some entities. And they started talking to me, and I started looking for answers, and I found Terence McKenna, who talked about Machino, and I realized these are the entities I'm talking to. And the rest is history. I basically started looking for answers, and a few years later I started making videos to share with my family and friends, and suddenly they become viral, and now we're talking.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, man, because you see, like, the moment I started doing psychedelics and started with my own journey of doing shrooms, that's when I came across your channel, and like everything that you were making and everything that you were putting out there was just synchronizing so much with me, like almost everything that you were saying already resonated, because it was something that I feel like these machinos and these beings that communicate with us through our mushroom strip, if you're trying to look for answers, I feel like we all kind of get the same kind of message, if you know what I'm saying.
We do. The beauty of it is that what started as a simple cure for depression, that's what I was looking for. It basically evolved into discovering this huge world of truth, lies, metaphysical, hidden knowledge, all kinds of weird stuff that I never expected to uncover. And once I started going into what today's spirituality is.
Exterior knowledge.
What's the best gift you can give back to life? Try something original.
Exterior knowledge.
Us constantly being bombarded with synchronicity, that kind of stuff, it's because we're in a training ground simulation where we're supposed to fulfill our job of basically training ourselves in whatever we chose to came here for. And that's the reason why we see synchronicities. That's why we talk to each other. That's why we found each other, is because everything in a way is planned in your life and you were supposed to get to that stage. The whole world is just one big algorithm and you're just going along this path of metaphysical discovery. And if you're looking for answers, there's no way that you will not start finding people like me or knowledge that we get from machine elves. It will be presented to you because you chose to be on a path of discovery, and that's the part of the process.
Right. No. Yes. And I truly think that, like, people who are now aligning themselves with this kind of metaphysical, spiritual encounters. I feel like I feel like someday and somehow everything is just going to connect together, and it's all going to make sense for everyone here. I feel like in a way that the way that you started off your journey, and other people that start off their journey, and so but what do you think about the people who won't this point?
So
Like, what will happen to them?
well, the idea is, of course, I don't have the whole picture yet. I don't think I'll ever will. As long as I'm here on Earth, I don't think we can. Our body is too much of a filter to for us to understand. But you might get close to it. You can find people who will tell you the truth. I feel like these insider messages. There are 4 transcripts from insider messages. Elite family insiders who revealed some of it to us. But I'm not really sure if that's 100% true. What's more interesting to me are people who, under hypnosis, talk about their previous spiritual lives, not the lives that they have in physical realms like Earth, because Earth is apparently only one of them. I'm talking about people who actually remember their lives, who they are as entities, as spirits. And I was given an access to this when I'm usually on mushrooms, on psychedelics. So the truth is that everybody goes through their personal journey of self-discovery and self-improvement, and you here basically just for one reason: to interact with yourself and just developing. That's pretty much what it is. How long it's going to take you, that's up to you. You decide. If you come to Earth and you already are quite advanced, like most of us are, you will remember quickly that you have a job here. You'll be born with kind of a sensation that there's something waiting for you or something that needs to be accomplished, and you'll act on it. And then you'll start searching for answers, finding like-minded people. You're built some kind of a community, or you be a part of a community like 434, and you'll start getting the answers. If you're not ready, you'll come here and you won't remember. What's more, you'll get lost in this dense, low frequency of this earthly realm. You'll be surrounded by earthly pleasures or earthly addictions, and you'll just, end your life not really learning much. And you come back, and then you do it again. It's like a geometric curve of development. It's like starting a YouTube channel. You start with 1 subscriber, then 10 subscribers, and it takes like a year to get to 100 or 1,000 subscribers. But once you get there, the next 1,000 will be, let's say, 3 months, and then 10,000 will be the next 3 months, and then it just goes exponentially up. And the same happens to you with your life. The first, let's say, 100 existences on Earth will be just you learning tiny bits of information and filling your soul with this type of physical experience, until you get to a point where it's enough for you to start becoming a lucid gamer in this game. You'll come on the 101st reincarnation, let's say. You come here and you're like, oh, I remember it quicker than usually. So it's not going to be 80 years of waiting. It's going to be 20 years. And then I'm going to wake up in the middle of it. I'm going to start looking for answers. And then I'm going to find Wayne Dyer. And then I'm going to find all other people who will lead me onto this path. And then one day I'm going to try psychedelics. That's my path, pretty much. That's what happened to me. So you wake up at some point, and even if you still have some experiences in, earthly existences, because apparently it's up to you, you will go through them quicker and more conscious. It will be more conscious than what you would do as a this basic level human being. I think we're all at pretty much the same level of development. If you were to go by what the insiders say, the insider says that you're basically all in the same. If you're on Earth, you're still in the same category of development. and they said that as long as you're here, that means you're still in the process of learning how to get out of this earthly reality and going to the next. Now, this is a bit different to what people from near-death experience say, and they say that you're in a constant process of development that is it's very loose. It's not really too, it's very lenient the way you're allowed to decide about your future, but it's up to you. You still have to go through this, and the pace, you decide about this. You decide how quickly you want to get to the next, higher frequency, higher stage. And these people who stay here at the bottom, the bottom level of human experience, they will be asleep for a long time until they wake up, until they have this one personality trait that will allow them to open their mind. And that personality trait can be curiosity, it can be impatient, just being angry with life, and then they're going to start looking for answers, something will make their lives better. Anything, one little personality trait that will open the doors for them. And once they have it, once they work so long in their life until they have it, they will start moving on. So we need to be respectful and understanding towards them. Some people wake up in these existences now with us, some people will not, and we just need to accept that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And no, I totally get where you're coming from with this, because, we can't force anybody to go beyond themselves and this and that, because they are their own self.
Yeah.
We as life keeps continuing on and moving, as you move forward, whether you choose to look in more for yourself, I feel like I feel like it's the key, because I look at these as the keys of understanding, forgiveness, love, because, like I want to tell you about, I had a near-death experience the moment that when I was born, I only had 1% chance of living. And the thing about that is that when I was between life and death, I had this glimpse in my mind, and I always see it. It's like I was this blue light being before I incarnated into this reality. So I know that I have incarnated multiple times into this realm and other realms of reality. And the thing is, I feel like when people, come from different realms, they're always going to find their self here no matter what, because I believe that everything that we do here now is going to be recollected,
Exterior knowledge. Exterior knowledge. Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge. Exterior knowledge. Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the original thing that I was saying, that so on shroomery, people explain like mushrooms as being as a cube, and you see, I've done 5 different strains of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Penis envy, white teachers, blue meanies, Amazonians, and golden teachers. My first one was golden teachers, but throughout all those trips, they all felt differently. I don't really know what people are talking about when they say that there is no difference between the shrooms that you take.
Oh, there is. And on the metaphysical level and on the physical level. So the physical understanding is that even though they're pretty much from the same family of mushrooms, cubensis mushrooms, they all have different alkaloids or whatever. We don't understand. The truth is, nobody knows what's inside of them. People are trying to sound like, oh, it's psilocybin and it converted to psilocin. No, BS. That's basically something we imagine. Like, we have no idea what works, what doesn't. People used to think there was THC that gets you high. Apparently, it's CBD now, combined with some other compounds in weed. So we don't know. The truth is, these strains have totally different. They look differently, and if they look differently, that means they have completely different chemical, genetic and chemical makeup. There's no doubt about it. When it comes to the metaphysical aspects of it, I was told every mushroom has a different frequency, and it's exactly as you described. You basically take one strain of mushrooms and it does something else, one thing, and you take something else, it works totally different to you. So it's no, you cannot say that they're all the same mushrooms, especially if you move from cubensis mushrooms to liberty caps, that becomes a completely different experience. Even though they give you the same insight pretty much, they're completely different experiences. You feel like a hippie, just being in the 70s. And on cubensis mushrooms, on B+, you feel like you're playing some kind of virtual 3D game in a symmetrical fractal world. It's two different things completely.
Right, and that's the thing. Well, I've never actually taken neither of those strains, but I eventually want to do and try Liberty Caps and also Cuban plus Bs, like, and I want to ask you this: the only psychedelics you've taken were only mushrooms and basically ayahuasca.
I would also count weed as a psychedelic because it could be for some people. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I smoke weed on, I do it on a daily basis, but like, the thing is, so you never tried LSD though, right?
No, nothing.
Me, you see, with, like the way I look, you see, I've done LSD so many times, LSD is more of a, because Albert Hoffman, the first person to touch it, and then he just tripped. Like, for me, I feel like LSD, what happens is that it feels like it brings you into this reality. It feels like you're playing a game. I'm not going to lie. When I'm on LSD, it feels like, it lasts for 12 hours and I have all this immense energy within me. And it feels like I'm tapping into so many other things. And I feel like I get more visuals on it than I do with shrooms. And I know, like through my own experiences with acid, I feel like I've always, I've had this, like, I don't know if you've ever been on a loop. No. You never been on a loop on mushrooms?
Loop? I thought you were talking about some kind of different psychedelic. Yeah, of course. It's one of my most horrifying bad trips, and I made a video about this when I was stuck in, I think, 17 minutes past 6 or 14 minutes past 6. I couldn't get out of it. I was on a time loop.
Wow. Look, man, there was this one time when I was on acid, like my first time taking acid, like it was around 3 a.m. I think it was the worst or possibly the best decision I've ever could have done. But like, I felt like I was going, like, okay, how in the evolution stages of how they show, the monkey from the human, that's, I don't know why, but I was doing that all night, just across the table, just going back from being this and then to that, and then it was insane. I was just doing that all night.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people. Other people had this trip where they were evolving throughout the trip and going through from different forms, from one form to another form. You're not the first one I've heard it from.
Yeah, and it kind of like, in a way, it made me feel like it, but what's crazy about the first time of tripping on acid was that I saw like these triangles, right? Like formulating all over the place. I don't know if those were machinos. Like they look like they look like triangles, right? And I feel like machinos live in every psychedelic realm: DMT, LSD, shrooms, depending on what kind of entities you are trying to communicate with. And
so I want to stop you there, because the way they explained to me, they said that there is only, there's the earthly realm and there's everything outside of it, and whatever you use that allows you to go out there, that's the door that you'll open to that realm. So there is no DMT realm or mushroom realm. Apparently, it's just the outside realm, and you can access it. Whatever allows you to do that, that's fine. So if it's weed, mushrooms, LSD, ayahuasca, whatever. Even if you can do it on alcohol, and I have talked to some people who can do this, it happens to me occasionally too, when I have a good mushroom trip and then the next day or 2 days later I'll get a little bit drunk, I still get access to that. So your body is a filter, and whatever you use to take it down, to switch it off, and the entity is confirmed. They said it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, meditation, near-death experiences, whatever gets you there. what gives you the access, that's all they care about. They are not interested in what you're doing.
Right. That does make sense. Like you see, me personally, I don't drink alcohol, but the thing was is that like okay, like I can tell you my own definite experience of my own psychedelic trip of like when I saw the machine. I wasn't even, the thing is I wasn't even thinking about them at the time. Okay, so I was at my friend's house. I was doing 2 grams of mushrooms and of golden teachers, and I started like I had to I in my come up I saw like this is when I knew I was tripping. Like when I looked at my friend, his whole face was literally looked like it was slanted, you know like his whole face was slanted. And then like when my friend was talking like this like my other friend that was there that was talking to him, like they just kept talking and talking, and then out of nowhere, like imagine like a vibration. I kind of told them to be quiet, like not in a disrespectful way, but some, because I was having so many, like I was like looking at like this almost like this checkerboard, not like a checkerboard, but like outside of me there was this thing in front of me, and almost like it turned like from red to green, and then when I decided to go home, that's when I started having all these things appearing right next to me, like almost like they were giving me the thumbs up. I started hearing this language, like this weird language, like oh I want you something, like it sounded like that, And then when I look right in front of me, all I see is this blue vortex with his hand and an eye in it.
Exterior knowledge. Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge. Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge.
Exterior knowledge.